Day 145 of doing a LeetCode problem every day until I get a job. All right, y'all, we're back again another day, another LeetCode problem. This time we're at day 145, y'all. We're about a week away from finishing up our 30 days or a month or so of doing easy strings. So get excited about that because we're almost done. After we do these easy string problems, we'll probably do about another month of some easy hash maps and easy dictionary problems. Then after that, we'll get into the LeetCode 100, y'all. So I hope y'all are ready for that and excited about that because that's where we're going and that's where we are on our way to, y'all. So before we get started today, don't forget, bring your mouse. Bring your mouse right over here and click that subscribe button for me, y'all. Then after you click that subscribe button, go ahead and smash that like button for me, y'all. Then after you smash that like button, I'm calling all of my bankers. I repeat all of my bankers to the comment section right now. I need y'all to drop 2 bank emojis in the comment section so we could run up this engagement and we could do our part as Swift community members to help push this content out to a broader audience, y'all. We're trying to get as many people interested in learning the Swift programming language as possible, and it's up to us to spread the word and get more people involved. Now, let's see what question we have here today. Today we have question number 599, minimum index sum of 2 lists. The difficulty level is easy, so you already know we're going to keep the solution as simple and easy to understand as possible because we're all trying to learn here. No matter where you are on your programming journey, we want the solution to be understandable for people on all levels of their programming journey. So that's why we're going to keep the solution as simple and easy as possible to understand. So let's see what the question says. It says, given 2 arrays of strings, list 1 and list 2, find the common strings with the least index sum. A common string is a string that appeared in both list 1 and list 2. A common string with the least index sum is a common string such that if appeared at list of I and list of j, then I plus j should be the minimum value among all of the other common strings. Return all of the common strings with the least index sum. Return the answer in any order. So let's see what they want us to do. Let's look at example 1. So in example 1, we have an input list 1. It's an array of strings. Shogun, Tapioca Express, Burger King, and KFC. List 2 is another array of strings. Piatti, the Grill of Torrey Pines, Hungry Hunter Steakhouse, and Shogun. Output is Shogun because the only common string is Shogun. So if we look at list 1, we have these lists of restaurants right here. Shogun, Tapioca Express, Burger King, and KFC. And then in list 2, we have these another array of strings, which is another array of restaurant names. Piatti, the Grill at Torrey Pines, Hungry Hunter Steakhouse, and Shogun. So if we look, Shogun is the only string or restaurant name that appears in both lists. So we don't have to worry about if it's the minimum common, if it has the least index sum, because they're the only ones with the common string, right? So Shogun is the only common string in these 2 lists, so that's why the output is Shogun, and that's why we don't have to worry about the index sum or the least index sum in example 1, because Shogun is the only common string, and that's why the output is Shogun. So let's look at example 2 where we might have a few more common strings, right? So in this example 2, we have list 1. It's an array of strings, Shogun, Tapioca Express, Burger King, and KFC. And list 2, we have KFC, Shogun, and Burger King, right? So in this example, you see we have Shogun in both lists, and we have Burger King in both lists right here. And we also have, or both arrays, and we have KFC in both of these, right? So this is where we want to find the common string that has the least index sum. And the least index sum is defined as this list I and list 1 I of I and list 2 of j, I plus j, whichever I plus j is the least is the one we return. So in this example, the output is Shogun because the common string with the least index sum is Shogun with the index of 0 and 1. So if we look, as Shogun. So we already know Shogun appears in both of these lists. It appears right here at index 0 in list 1. Excuse me, y'all. And it appears right here at index 1 in list 2. So 0 plus 1, that's where this 0 plus 1 comes from. 0 plus 1 is going to give us 1. And that's because it in list 1, it appears at index 0. In list 2, it appears at index 1, right? So if we look at, let's see, Burger King, for example, is another common string, right? So Burger King appears at index 0, 1, 2. So Burger King appears at index 2, and let's just put it right here. So first we're going to say Shogun. Shogun is at, let's just say it's at list 0 and list 1, right? Or index 0 and index 1, right? So then we do it like that. Or we could put it like this. We could put it in some square brackets so it makes sense. So Shogun appears at index 0 and index 1, right? Then Burger King appears at index 2 and index 2. So in both lists, Burger King is at index 2. And we have KFC. So KFC appears at, in list 1, KFC is at index 0, 1, 2, 3. So KFC appears at index 3 in list 1, and KFC appears at index 0 in list 2, right? So when we add up here, we do 0. That's the only one. Those are the only common strings, I believe. Yeah, because there's only 4 strings in this one, and there's there's only 3 strings in list 2, and there's 4 strings in list 1. So yeah, these are the only ones that are common right here. So if we do Shogun, 0 plus 1 equals 1, right? Burger King, 2 plus 2 equals 4, and KFC, 3 plus 0 equals 3. So that's, out of all of these, Shogun has the least index sum, right? Which is 1. So we have the index sums are 1, 4, and 3, right? And Shogun is the one with 1. 1 is the least out of this list. 1 is the smallest, and that's why Shogun is the common string with the least index sum, and that's why the output right here is Shogun. Boom. So let's look at example 3. Let's get rid of this real quick, and let's look at example 3. So in example 3, we have input list 1. It's an array of strings, happy, sad, and good. List 2 is another list of strings, sad, happy, and good. This time the output is sad and happy, and that is because the explanation says there are 3 common strings. So happy, sad, and good are all common strings, right? So they're in both lists. So we have 3 common strings, happy with index sum of 0 plus 1. So we have happy right here. Let's do it. Let's just write it out. We have happy is at index 0 and it's at index 1, right? Then we have sad. Sad is at index 1 and it's at index 0. Then we have good. Good is at index 2 and index 2, right? So when we add 0 plus 1, 0 plus 1 is going to give us 1. Then we're going to have 1 plus 0 is also going to give us 1. Then we have 2 plus 2 is going to give us 4, right? So we're going to have 1, 1, and 4. So you see, happy and sad both have index sums of 1. They both have index sums of 1, which is why we return both happy and sad, or sad and happy, whichever one you want to put first, because they both share the same, they both have a least index sum. They both have an index sum of 1, which means they both are in this case, they are both the smallest or equal to the smallest or the least index sum, which is why we return both of them, because good has an index sum of 4, which is not the smallest, which leaves us with happy and sad, which is why we return both happy and sad, because they have the same index sum. So now that we understand the question, let's get into the fun part, the part that keeps us motivated, the part that keeps us waking up in the morning, the actual code. And the code is not that difficult at all, y'all. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to declare a variable called common strings. And this is going to get our, or store our common strings for us. And we're going to add, or it's going to find our common strings for us as well. So we're going to do that, we're going to say declare variable common string. Then we could put an S at the end. Common string equals set. And it's going to be a set of list one. Then we're going to say dot intersection. Intersection. Then we're going to open up the parentheses, and we're going to say set, open up the parentheses again, and we're going to say list 2. And what this is going to do is going to find us all of the common strings in list 1 and list 2. It's going to see which of the strings are in both lists, right? So then after we do that, we're going to declare a variable called index sums. We're going to set that equal to a dictionary, and it's going to be of integers. Then we're going to say colon, open up the array brackets, string. Come outside of that, and we're going to put our parentheses because we have to initialize it somehow. Then we're going to come down here and we're going to say for string in common strings, open up the brackets. We're going to say if let L1 index for list 1 index equals list 1 dot first index. Then we're going to open up the parentheses of colon string. Then we're going to put a comma, y'all. We're not opening up the brackets yet. We're going to put a comma, and we're going to do the same thing for list 2. We're going to say let L2 index equal list 2 dot first index, open up the parentheses of colon string. Then we're going to come out here, open up our brackets, and this bracket, this is all in the if statement, y'all. So now we're finally opening up our brackets for the if statements. Remember, this is a comma. Don't put a bracket right there. Put a comma, because we need list 1 and list 2, both of these right here. Then we open up the array brackets, and then we are going to say let index sum equal L1 index plus L2 index, and that's going to get us the sum of the index. Then we're going to say index sums, not sums. See, this has, remember, this has no S, this has an S, this is coming from up here. We're going to say index sums. Then we're going to say open up the square brackets, and we're going to say index sum, comma, default, colon, blank array. Boom. Then we're going to come outside of that, and we're going to say append, open up the parentheses, string. Then we are going to come down here outside of the for loop, and we are going to say let lowest index sum equal index sums with an S at the end, y'all, coming from up here. Index sums dot keys. We only want the keys, not the values. Dot keys dot sorted. Put the parentheses, square brackets. Put a 0 in between the square brackets. Then we're gonna come down here and we're gonna say return index sums with the S, square brackets, open up the square brackets and put lowest index sum inside the square brackets, and come outside of that, and we're going to put an exclamation mark because it is optional. And now let's run it. See if it still runs, y'all. Let's see if it runs, period. Let's see. Ooh, look at that. It's accepted. So now let's submit it. And now let's see if it still runs after we submit it. Drum roll, and there it is, y'all. 229 milliseconds beats 28.57% of users with Swift, y'all. Not too bad, not too bad at all. Don't worry about the time complexity. We'll worry about that as we continue down our LeetCode journey. Right now, we are just focused on solving the problem. We're not worried about having the best time. We just want to get the problem solved and understand why the problem was solved and understand what the code is doing and how it works. And that is all for our problem of the day. I hope to see y'all tomorrow for another day, another LeetCode problem. Peace.